Hey guys, what's up? I'm Simone, aka Nyroh, and this is the Native Instruments Complete Kontrol S61 MK2. The Complete Kontrol S61 MK2 is a solution for every musician and producer who needs help to have control of their digital audio workstation and their plugins. It has 61 semi-weighted synth-like keys made from Fatar, which is an Italian company. And not to say this because I'm Italian, but mamma mia pizzeria, this keybed is super great, if not the best I've ever tried on a MIDI controller. And as you can see, there's the light guy, which I call the money maker. The light changes upon what plugin you're using or which mode you are in. And you can change the standard keyboard light using the Complete Kontrol software, which comes actually with your keyboard and is actually the core of everything. In the original box, you get a USB cable and a software card with instructions to download the Complete Kontrol drivers and native access, which is used to then download Complete Kontrol and the actual plugins that you have in your Native Instruments account. So let's start. Let's have a fast walkthrough of this keyboard. Here on the left side of the keybed, we have fixed velocity, which, as you may understand, fixes the velocity. Wow, that's super loud. Octave up and octave down. We have pitch bend, modulation, and a touch strips, which was already present in the MK1 version, but now is horizontal and can be marked to control pretty much everything when using the keyboard in MIDI mode. Still actually haven't found a use for that. On the left side up here, we have the transport section, which controls the transport of the supported hosts. We have play, stop, record. We have loop, which turns on and off the loop. We have metro, which turns on and off the metronome. And tempo, which, if pressed multiple times, can be used to set the tempo of the song you're working on. Up here, the perform and edit section lets you edit what you have recorded, or lets you use this smart play feature, scale and ARP. These two functions work really well separately and incredible together, and they are both definitely a kind of help to anyone starting out making music or to someone who just needs some help with their inspiration. In scale mode, entering the edit scale mode, pressing Shift plus scale, you can change the root note, you can change the type of chords that you want to play, and you can change how this smart play feature helps you. Then you have the chord mode, which can be set to off, harmonizer, or chord set. Off is when it doesn't work, and every key is an actual key. In harmonizer, if you press one key, you make a chord, and the type of chord can be selected right here. And in chord set, you have an incredible actual chord set, which can be selected right here from the other knobs and gives actually a lot of help to decide which chord progression you may be looking for. ARP works like a great arpeggiator. You can change the type of arpeggio and select how it works, always pressing Shift plus ARP. You can have it to only go up or down or up and down. You can select how fast it goes, the sequence, the swing, the level of swing, and also the gate, which is super good and super fun to play with. Haha, that's super nice. Oh, and you can also use it to play chords. You just press the chord and it plays it for you. So if you need some help, this to work really great for everyone. Then we have undo, redo, pressing Shift plus undo, quantize, and auto, which turns on the recording automations. The preset button can be used to change presets between the one that you are looking for, and it's an incredible way to go through all the ones that you're selecting using the browser button that we'll see later. And then we have these two arrows, which help you to go through all the pages of the parameters that you can control using these 8 rotaries that we'll see later too. Then we have to use full solo and mute button for the selected track. Here's the most useless section if you don't use Maschine. This function works only if you use the Maschine software. And in the DAW of my choice, which is Ableton and Studio One, there's nothing that you can do with it. So I know actually nothing about scene, pattern, tracks, key mode, and clear. Sorry, Native Instruments. We know you wanted us to work with Maschine, but yeah. So apart from all this stuff, we can actually be found on many other controllers. What's so different? Where's the moneymaker of this keyboard apart from the light guy? So let's start with this. In the middle of the keyboard, there's 8 touch-sensitive rotaries that are used to control various functions of the Komplete Kontrol software and a pair of high-resolution color screens. They are super great and super clear, and directly from the screens, you can do everything special about this keyboard. Screens, rotaries, and the 8 buttons over here follow which mode you are in, and this is set with the buttons on the right side. In browser mode, you can browse between your plugins and all your NKES compatible presets. Here, as you can see, I have all these plugins that come from Komplete 10 Ultimate, and I can listen to them with the plugin preview. And I can go through all of them just using the rotaries, listening to the preview of the sound, and selecting them just by using the button up here. After browsing, there's plugin, which gets you to the plugin you're currently controlling. So now you have all the controls of the plugin. In this case, I'm with Alicia's keys piano. Unfortunately, there's not. Alicia's keys is not right here with me playing some music. I can play her piano. And I can go through all the parameters that I can change using the arrows that I said before. Mixer is an interesting function and displays the mixer of supported hosts. The currently supported DAWs are Ableton, Cubase, Nuendo, Logic Pro, GarageBand, Maschine, and Studio One. This is pretty cool if you don't have a control surface, and you can move between channels also using the arrows right here. You can see them, they're not on right now because I have only 4 channels in my digital audio workstation, but let me create some of them. Okay. Well, now they are on, and as you can see, I can go through all the channels that I have, and I can change their volumes using the rotaries. Setup displays the hardware serial numbers, which is right here under my finger, and you can select the brightness of the screens. Accessing MIDI mode allows you to use the Komplete Kontrol keyboard as a MIDI controller, and this way you can map all the plugins that you have that are not NKS compatible. The instance button on the Komplete Kontrol is deactivated if you're using a Komplete Kontrol in a host application with support advanced integration like Ableton, Cubase, or all the ones that I said before. In this case, you can switch between your loaded instances of Komplete Kontrol by selecting the corresponding track you're working with your software. And in the case you're using a digital audio workstation which is not supported by Komplete Kontrol, by pressing the instance button, you can call up an overlay of the computer screen, which enables you to switch between all the loaded instances of the plugin. Fun fact, after selecting the VST, the virtual instrument that you want to play, you see these strings right here? Yes, this says that I'm currently controlling Alicia's keys, but if I press this, wow, there's a plus button right here. Okay, it was already there before. But there's a plus button right here. What can I do with that? Can I play 2 instruments together? No, unfortunately, you can layer instruments in an easy way from the Komplete Kontrol software, but you can still browse or your processors and effects like these ones right here. These ones are from Waves. As you can see, there's the CLA76. Driver is from Native Instruments and whatever. So you can load them like the J37, which is an incredible plugin that I love. Oh, and don't forget about the super duper rotary here, which is used to move in your session, changing the channels, or in Ableton Live, going up and down the session view. And if pressed, you can use it to start the loop you have currently selected. So as you can understand, the controller aims to help everybody who makes music production with the possibility to create music faster and also to have some more control over the digital audio workstation. Ok, guardiamo cosa c'è dietro perché teoricamente è finita la recensione. On the back we have on and off button, the USB in, which can actually be used also to power up the keyboard. So as you can see, I don't have any AC adapter right here. And there's two inputs for pedals. You can use this to map. You can use this to connect an actual pedal or an expression pedal. And there's also MIDI out and MIDI in, and this thing right here that nobody uses. So as you may clearly understand from this walkthrough/review, this to me is a great product for every music producer who needs a MIDI keyboard and who wants also some control on their digital audio workstation, but most importantly, a lot of control on the plugins they're using. I've used this keyboard mostly in music production situation, but also in live situations, during weddings, etc. And it's been just great to play with it. But this wouldn't be an objective walkthrough/review if I didn't say that I unfortunately have some things that I really don't like. So let's go through them right now. So the first thing, as you may know, is that these buttons right here, they just don't absolutely work. And that's not that great of effect, because if I have all these knobs and buttons and everything else, and I know that I could do something else right here and it's not absolutely mapped and it's completely non-usable within Adobe if it's not Maschine, and as you can see, I'm on Ableton. Yeah, that's not a great thing. Then we have to explain the little word that I sneaked in a few times during this video, and that is NKS, and that has to do with which type of plugins I can control right here. NKS stands for Native Control Standard, and it's a system which tries to bring together different plugins from different plugin manufacturers and gives you a fast and easy way to browse between all of your plugins and all of your plugin presets. This means that using the Komplete Kontrol software, you can surely browse between your sounds and select whatever you need in a pretty easy way. But what about non-NKS plugins? I'll answer the scary question that popped out in your head right now, and the answer is unfortunately you can't control plugins if they are non-NKS supported. You could still control them using this keyboard in MIDI mode, but you cannot browse them with your Komplete Kontrol. From time to time, there's new plugin added to the NKS compatible lists, and I'll leave this list right down here in the description of the video, and I really hope this is not a game changer for you. And that's it for the walkthrough review, guys. I think this keyboard is great, as I already said before, apart from the little things that I told you about right now. Do you think it's worth it for the money? Is there any other MIDI keyboard that you think is better than this one? Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and let's chat through the comments. This is Simone, aka Nyroh, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Ciao!